trust.
News, glorious news. Good morning and welcome back. Broadcasting live from Site B, located in the fictional town of Fresno, Nevada. Located somewhere within a town that looks surprisingly like Ventura, California. It's your boy, the OGGM, back Monday, the 23rd day of February 2026. The weather outside is being confusing. And as always on Mondays, it's time to take a look at all the tabletop role-playing game freebies, sales, combination bundles. And for the fifth week in a row, the list isn't up. So I have to muddle through and find it on my own, which I don't mind. I don't mind doing it. I mean, it doesn't really take that much work to find these, but I always feel like I'm missing one or two. So if you have a product on sale on Itch.io or Drive-Thru or Bundle of Holding or whatever that I don't mention every week, please feel free to reach out to me and let me know that I didn't give your game, product, whatever, it's proper love, because you know, all us small press, big press gaming people need to try and help each other out. And I always feel like I'm missing something when I do this. I don't know why the list isn't up anymore. But it's not, or it's up very irregularly. I thought they were maybe doing it every other week, but then no. I think they're doing the other half, the Kickstarter / print news every other week. But this one, they've kind of just, I don't know, given up. Maybe they can't find anybody with the time and effort to do it. I'd be willing to do it for a few dollars. I mean, you know, if you need somebody to do it for you, I work cheap, right? We know I work for stickers and candy. Anyways, let's take a look on our three favorite sites: Bundle of Holding, Humbelbundel, because I love calling it Humbelbundel, and Drive-Thrus. Okie dokie. Who's calling me at 7:38 in the morning? Hold on, please. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hi, this is Hannah calling from American Benefits on a recorded line.
Hi, Hannah calling from American Benefits. How can I help you?
Based on my records, you may qualify for the state.
Are you a real person?
Insurance plan that's going to cover one.
Blocked. I'm supposed to be on the no call list. Okay, sorry for that, but I like to, you know, if I'm going to make fun of them, I should have somebody else being a victim. I mean, whatever, witness. Did I say victim? too little caffeine. All right. Bundle of Holding presents us with 4 this week. It looks like we've got Wolves Upon the Coast, a complete grand campaign from Luke Gearing. This is, we got Wolves Upon the Coast for $18. It's a grand campaign plus Monsters and Treasures and the Whale Road Chronicles, a $71 value for $18. And let's see, we got a picture of a map and a map and I guess a book of monsters and a campaign book that it just looks like a wizard, a white. Can't talk this morning. Come on, brain. This is your second cup of coffee. Wake up. That looks just like a Word doc. All right. Well, hey, they don't have a lot of information, but you know, could be fun. An entire campaign for what I assume is D&D. Anyways, moving on. We've got Forbidden Psalm, the End Time rules, plus 7 standalone games, 2 expansions, miniature rules for Mirk Borg. Does Mirk Borg need miniature rules? Are there a lot of miniatures being made for Mirk Borg? I don't know, but it's $10 for the starter collection and another $10 for the bonus. Do we have any pictures of the figures? Because I think that's what we'd be interested in. Looks like it's a couple different games. But no pictures of the figs or what the thing is about. Still, hey, I don't know. Maybe there is a market for a Mirk Borg themed miniature game. Or not. I don't know. I literally don't know. Okay, then we've got Dungeon Crawl Sky Sprawl or Down Crawl Sky Scroll. This is from Aaron Reed. It's a complete line that sends you deep, deep down and way high. For $15, we've got the Down Crawl 2E rules with the Delver's Guide, the Sky Crawl rule books, 10 parts of the Infinite Sky, the Hydrogen Solution, Where the Rock Stops, and the Drizzled Depths. So here we've got what looks like a Drow city with everything hanging from giant stalactites. Here we've got what looks like a boat in the ocean. I like this picture of the things hanging from the thing. And some adventure. So I guess it's exploring both the world above the land with Sky Crawl and the world below the land with Down Crawl. Considering I'm working on a campaign setting that takes place on the Underdark Ocean, I might be interested in that to see how other people do it. Like the ideas. I like this picture. You know, I don't know if a stalactite would actually support the weight of a city, but it's a cool picture. And that's enough, right? And then we've got Neon City Overdrive, the complete line from Peril Planet for $6. We've got Neon City Overdrive, the Grid, Skin Jobs, and Scions. And this is, of course, Cyberpunk. A fast and smooth cyberpunk system. We've got Neon City Overdrive, the Grid about comptometers, Skin Jobs about, getting your body replaced with mechanics, Scions about cyberpunk enhanced psionics. Yeah, cool stuff. Love us some cyberpunk, right? Never get tired of looking at some cyberpunk. Of course, it brings up the internal question at this point in time: is cyberpunk now a retro game, since it's trying to emulate an 80s/90s that never happened? It's not to say that it shouldn't happen. The technology was there to make the jump to a cyberpunk-esque future, but we just never got around to making the flying cars and the giant buildings that jet flame for no reason. So apparently there's a town in, I think it's Seoul or China somewhere, that looks very much like the city from Blade Runner, and actually does have a building that belches out fire as part of artistic aesthetic. So, maybe we didn't get cyberpunk the thought we would get it, but there's still a potential future out there. I don't know if that's good or bad, but yeah. Moving right along to Humbelbundel, because Humbelbundel is kind of where it all started, right? So this week we've got the Forgotten Realms Vault, 40 books for what's the price on this? Hello? 40 books for $25. These are all the Forgotten Realms books. Well, I don't know if it's all of them, but it's a lot of them. It's a lot of the books that take place in the Forgotten Realms, talk about stuff that happened in the Forgotten Realms, feature characters we know from the Forgotten Realms, like Elminster and Drizzt and those dudes. Some of these I recognize, some of these I don't. There's a drastic difference in art style. Raven Spur, that one I recognize. Recognize the Drow books. Recognize the Elminster books. Azure Bonds, of course, one of the classics. And some of these I don't. And this goes to support children in need, which is always a good charity. So if you want a bunch of digital books about the Forgotten Realms, this could do worse than $25 for 40 books. These are all PDF books, so you do need an e-reader like a Kindle or a whatever. And because you are downloading things like that, I would remind you to double check for viruses and stuff like that, if that's your kind of thing. All right, then we have the same world going on for Discworld. We've got a whole bunch of books, 39 items for $16. If you are familiar with the Discworld setting, Terry Pratchett's amazing, never-ending, weird fantasy world. Here you go. Again, these are e-reader, so you do need an e-reader, and this goes to help with children's literacy. Always a good cause. Then we've got the Fallout one. This one is, again, $30 for, well, $25 for 61 items. Half of those are STL files to make 3D printed vehicles and stuff. That card looks familiar. And then the rest are adventures. And then there are some actual Fallout books in here, like the starter set and the player's handbook and some other. That car's cool. So is that car. So But a lot of it, a huge percentage of it, is STL files and cards and thingies. But here's the stuff that's probably worth the most at the bottom, which you get the starter set and you get the Wasteland Warfare one. So if that's something you're interested in, it's worth it probably for all the other stuff, because you get a ton of Fallout stuff for, what is it, $25, which seems incredibly reasonable, since the starter book alone is normally like $50. So all this crap, even if you never use it, there's a ton of cool stuff in here, right? All right. Then there was some stuff we don't really fit into our thing. We've got the Witcher and Cyberpunk bundle. This is the comic book bundle. So we have a whole bunch of comic books based upon the Witcher setting, and a whole bunch of comic books set based upon the Cyberpunk Edgerunner setting. And this goes to support literacy. So some comic books, again, you would need an e-reader of some type to open these and read them. We've got the Massive Verse, which I've never heard of, but it's a series of comic books from Image. We got some smut. We got the science fiction and fantasy collection from Top Cow, 41 comics for $25, featuring various titles, and they're all from Top Cow, and they're all vaguely science fiction, fantasy, bunch of titles I've never heard of. Comic books goes to support literacy. Again, you need an e-reader of some kind, though. And we got some more comic books. We got the Doctor Who audio adventures. We got some more Tiddlinis. We got some graphic novels. And then we've got this one. This is the physical tabletop role-playing game bundle. These are all actual games they will send you. The Blade Runner game, this Warhammer thing, Age of Vikings, which I've never heard of, the Avatar Legends role-playing game. Remember when that was going to be Game of the Year? Dune, the role-playing game, and G.I. Joe. None of these companies are connected to each other, but this does go to support the ACLU, and it's $164 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about $300 worth of games. So that sounds pretty cool. If that is your flavor of the week, we got Yo Go of Card. Yo, God of Car. God of Car games is coming out pretty soon. I can't wait to review it, take it apart. I assume it's going to be awesome based upon the game that he was using to create it was such a piece of crap that, and this guy's actually been working on this game nonstop for a year, so I'm very excited. Check out his channel. Definitely needs a little love. He does video game reviews and stuff like that, and his editing game is way higher than mine. So yeah, check him out. Good stuff. God of Ka. Got a game coming out. All right, moving on to the chip. DriveThruRPG. See what's up on their tables this week. All right, so we got from DriveThru, we've got a Dragonbane, 50% off. I don't know if there's enough titles for Dragonbane, but has anybody been making independent titles for Dragonbane? I guess some people have. Look at all this. Wow. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff being made for Dragonbane. And I think people underestimate how old Dragonbane is. It's actually a much older game, even though we here in the States have only heard about it recently. Over there on the other side of the world, this game is old. And it's been around for a while and has a huge fan base. So that's probably why there's so much stuff going on. Is that Kermit the Frog? I love this. I love the buildings on stilts in the spooky forest. The writer's name is Man Alone. Yeah. And it's Kermit. Kermit's smoking a pipe. Shame on you, Kermit. Well, I guess we know what Kermit does in his downtime. He hangs out in this spooky little Florida Everglades stilt village, smoking a pipe. Kermit. Shame on you. All right, so we got some love for Dragonbane for 50% off. That's pretty cool. We got some love for Daggerheart. I hear the rumor now that Daggerheart's working on D&D 6e. Margaret Weiss is working on 6E. Tracy Hickman is working on 6E. Luke Gygax is working on 6E. You ever heard that? That's just, oh my God, I'm having so much fun with that one. So we got Daggerheart. We got a bunch of stuff made for Daggerheart. Daggerheart, they're still expecting $35 for. I don't think you're going to get it, considering that you abandoned Daggerheart. Yeah, but what they're playing now isn't D&D 5e, OG. They never said it was. They said from the beginning it was a modified version, and that Chris Perkins was working on the new rules for a modified 5e. But yeah, stuff marked down, $20. I don't know if that's much of a markdown, but it looks like some people have been making some stuff for Daggerheart, so that's cool, I guess. If Daggerheart's your thing. All right, now we're going to move on to the other stuff. You go scroll all the way down here. We go to titles on sale. And again, we've got the second week of the Frog God Games bundle. A lot of good adventures in here. $3 for Rappanathuic. My God, dude, that's like a $50 games. And now they're doing all the levels for like $5, $3. Rappanathuic is one of my favorite mega dungeons. It claims it's the grandfather of all mega dungeons. It's not, because the first mega dungeon is Castle Greyhawk. So, yeah, not sure what that means. Morik Mansion, which is another mega dungeon. We got not all these are great. I played through a lot of these. I was a big Frog God Games fan for a while. I still am. Their Slumbering Czar setting is kind of the cornerstone of the campaign I've been running for the past, I don't know, 15 years. We got Gary Gygax Necropolis. We've got Crucible Freya, which is, when it came out, an award-winning starter adventure for first-level characters, and it's still a pretty good starter adventure. We got The Lost City of Brachus, another classic, for $6. So we got some Grimtooth Traps. Remember those? And we got a whole bunch of adventures for various D20. Great stuff. I'm a big fan of their stuff. So that's cool. Then we got the usual selection of 5e artwork, STL files, bunch of little companies trying to get their stuff across. Here's some 5e stuff. A lot of STL files, a lot of art, stock art. You know, we're trying to give a lot of love to stock art right now. Blades in the Dark PDF marked down to $16. Some more 5e. A lot of 5e love, of course. A lot of art, as usual. A lot of STL files. A lot of 5e. More art. More 5e. 5e adjacent. Here's some love for Savage World from Doghouse Worlds. We do love ourselves some Savage Worlds. We do love ourselves some Deadlands. We do love ourselves the idea of a trailer park shark attack. Yeah, cocaine shark. Yeah. There's Kermit again from Man Alone for Dragonbane. We got some more 5e type stuff. Got some Japanese game. Got some art, the usual stuff. Nothing really standing out except for the Frog God game stuff from Drive-Thru. But I could be missing something. So if you have a product up on Drive-Thru that I did not find, please let me know, because you deserve the shout out. I've been told I need to animate the avatar. I don't know why, because you can barely see the avatar when I'm online, but I've been told I need to animate it. I don't know how, but something I'll figure out. I did ask you guys to vote on which of the two iconic characters you want to see as the mascot: Tag, our pink-haired protagonist, or me. And the one person that voted said Tag. So looks like Tag's back as the token cheesecake cover girl, because, well, cheesecake sells. Have a great week. It's Monday, of course. If you have any topics you want me to throw my stick at, and whatever. Otherwise, we'll be back with whatever next news happens. I'm sure Wizards of the Coast will do something dumb as the month roars to the end. Remember, this is a 28-day month, but it's Easter, which means candy. Yeah, who's going to send me some Easter candy? Till next time, I'm the OG GM. If you appreciate this content, let me know. If you never want to hear me talk about this ever again, please like, please share, please subscribe. Please take a moment to support the OG GM with the link down below to check out my merch on drive-thru for only $1. And I will talk to you all later. Have a great day, stay safe, etc., etc., etc. I appreciate each and every one of you. And if you have some spare time, check out our good friend God of Cause site. Let's help him get to 1,000 subs. See ya!